who's your finals winner? Who's your champ this year?
Yeah, so I did get the Suns versus the Bucks here. And yeah, this will be a tough matchup, I think, for both teams. But I got the Bucks here. I got Bucks returning to glory. You know, there was that disappointing first round loss last season, and there's been so much about, I think, made from Giannis's comments, right, about like, hey, this is just one, loss in my entire career type of thing. Let's bring some perspective on here. Jordan, he only won 6 championships compared to like, I forgot how many seasons he played. It's like, yeah, nobody's perfect, right? And I don't know, made this whole like very created this conversation about life and philosophy and stuff like that through, some NBA playoffs and all that. And I'm like, people just need to like get a life and I don't be realistic about things. So yeah, adding in Dame Lillard, I think helps advance those causes for Giannis. And man, that's the one thing about Dame. He's been clutch, right? I think, with Dame time and such, he's been clutch. And yeah, in the playoffs, I think he always had that pressure on him. But then, yeah, now having a player like Giannis to take some of that pressure off of him, I think that's going to be, awesome for him and his team there. And then, yeah, if they can get anything from Chris Middleton, who's also been a pretty clutch player in the playoffs too, I think all those things had me in favor of picking the Bucks over the Suns with, KD. Yeah, he's been, pretty decent in the playoffs for sure. But then, there's always been questions I think about. He always kind of needed, Steph Curry a little bit to alleviate some of the defensive pressure off of him. And then, yeah, even having, players like Devin Booker there and Bradley Beal, I just feel like, at least Bradley Beal, I feel like he can get shut down somewhat, especially with, some tough defense from the Bucks there and designing, a game plan there. Adrian Griffin, he's a defensive-minded coach. I think people forget, like, he was undrafted coming from Seton Hall, but I think he averaged like 2 steals a game in like his rookie season or something. Like he's a defensive mindset person. So I feel like, yeah, they're going to be able to, slow down or shut down some of those players there over there with the Suns. And yeah, nobody's going to stop Giannis. Nobody's going to stop Clutch Dame. I just feel like this team, the acquisitions that they made, I feel like they have enough to win a championship, get Dame that chip, solidify his Hall of Fame career, and yeah, nobody will complain about him being the top 75 player of all time.
Gotcha, man. Well, I love it. Love the energy, and fear the deer yet again. We'll see how it goes. Man, my finals to me, like this matchup is just a heavyweight matchup for me because I think these two fives, just really line up well with each other. They're very, they're very they have bigger starting fives than I think most other teams do in the NBA. Like, especially when you're trotting out, potentially it's like Derek Williams at point. Maybe it's Drew Holiday. They kind of flip off. I don't know how it's going to work out, but Derek Williams about 6'8". You got Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, which I'd imagine be, the rest of the front court there. Going up against, Murray, KCP, then you've got Porter, Gordon, and Jokic. And it's like, I don't know, man, I go, blow for blow with each one of those positions. And I'm just like, Denver's definitely got the advantage underneath. And then, as far as like wing play goes, I think you give it the nod to Boston a little bit, especially with guys like Tatum and Brown and stuff. But then, you just bring in like the championship type experience of Drew Holiday. Like that's gonna be so good for, Tatum and Brown after, I think a tough exit last year. I think they just come in with like this renewed energy, this renewed focus. I'm so close to like wanting to give that to Boston, but in the same sense, I think down low is where it's going to hurt them the most. I mean, to have Porzingis or an older Horford matching up against Jokic, I think, like Miami did, they allowed Jokic to just score on him all day as like one of their advantages to win a ball game there in the finals last year. And, to me, I think, Denver just plays a little bit of bully ball there with Jokic, have him just like, find the open guy, dish it out, get Jamal Murray back incorporated in that offense as basically his number two. And I just love that surrounding cast around him in the starting five where it's like, man, as much as I want to give it over to Boston, I just feel like, I don't know about dynasties or anything. Like, I don't know about dynasties. And maybe this year teaches me a little bit more about what else is going on in the East and West. But, like, I think they're good for this season, getting it again. So, like, I'm putting, my chips forward again with the Nuggets here. Love what they did last year. And, not a ton has changed. And as long as they're healthy, I think they're the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they have basically the same roster, maybe minus Bruce Brown there, and if they are able to get, some of their young, talented bench to make a little bit more contributions, like, this team's going to be dangerous. Peyton Watson looks pretty good, and so does Braun too. So, and yeah, if they're healthy, I think that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, about the West is whoever's the healthiest at the end of the season, I think wins it. And, with how they match up against, I think, the Celtics, like, yeah, that's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, who guards KP more so of, I think, in this matchup. Is it going to be Jokic? Because, KP definitely likes to play out in the perimeter a little bit. And, do you really want Jokic out there and such? So, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting, I think, who also guards. Jamal Murray and Drew Holiday. Like, that's going to be a tough matchup, I think, for Jamal Murray there. I don't know. Great matchup that happens for sure. That's going to be great. I think NBA basketball. Very team-oriented player or teams that like to spread the ball around a little bit, and every player could make a play there. So that would be awesome if there is a matchup like that. But I don't know. Yeah, I might go with the Celtics though. I feel like in that matchup, yeah, maybe I would go with the Celtics. I don't know. It's just hard to compete, but I mean, yeah, this Nuggets team, they can definitely do it though. They have the talent, they have the team chemistry, and yeah, Jokic, best player in the game right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for teams to repeat in any sport. If there is one where maybe we see it more often than others, it would be the NBA. But in the same sense, it's hard to get motivated to come right back and, go through the whole thing yet again. The fact that Denver did it seemingly with ease last year, like, gives me a little bit better of a feeling because it was like nobody really stepped up and gave them, a really hard time, like a truly hard time. So, man, yeah, I'd just love to see them take a shot here and there. I think this type of series to me is like definitely a 7-gamer because I think this is a different type of team coming at them. If it is Milwaukee too, like, I think that's another tough matchup. Like, I would think would be a very interesting series to kind of watch play out. I mean, be interesting to see how Milwaukee does with a bigger lineup like Denver. Just in terms of kind of defending it, like, you can bring Brook Lopez, obviously Giannis. Would you put Chris Middleton up at your shooting guard and maybe think about, I don't know, bringing in more Portis or bringing in more, is it Connaughton? I would imagine Portis might be that bruiser that you'd want to do to, like, maybe combat like a Gordon or a Porter or something like that. But I don't know, man. It's just, this team to me is like, as long as they're healthy, man, there's just looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely something with, how the physicality of the front court of the Nuggets. Like, I think that was something that maybe some teams were, I feel like I underestimated, with Aaron Gordon, with Michael Porter Jr., and then, Jokic, like, they out physicaled the Warriors, right? Like, that was like one team. It's like, oh, we're just bigger than you. We're gonna fight for those rebounds and get pull offense rebounds and get some putbacks in there. Like, they just bullied some teams there. So, but yeah, like, I do feel like though the Bucks match up fairly well with the Nuggets there though, right? If they'll have some length there down low. To help mitigate or stop, get in the passing lane here and there against, Jokic some with Brook Lopez or Giannis or Portis, right? I feel like, all those players, like they're all, really good defenders there. So I feel like having that solid front court could definitely help. And then, yeah, having some bench scoring. And then also, I mean, I feel like Dame Lillard against Jamal Murray, they probably would take Jamal Murray off of him, put KCP up there probably. Yeah, just to like, bully him a little bit, but that's just a hard matchup. I don't think that they have a player to defend him. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just excited for some basketball, but I think those four teams that we were both kind of looking at, like if any of those teams kind of like were to play in the finals there, like that would just be good basketball. I feel like.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree. The only other thing I was to say about Denver is like they play an imposing style of basketball with their size and their strength and things like that. But in the same sense, like Aaron Gordon's like a great rim runner. Michael Porter
Mm-hmm.
can spot up from three. Like they're so athletic and they've got the size. It's like they are just kind of like they have a set of like freak athletes, I feel like, just kind of surrounding Jokic where I don't know, man. It feels really good to me, but yeah, I agree with your statement there. Like I think the Final Four are some pretty powerful teams. Like these are some juggernauts, so it'll be fun to watch them go at it if this is how it lines up.